Hey, you guys. This video is going to be a bit of a departure. There is there's a lot of stuff milling around in my head after I saw the new ridiculous Meghan Markle with Love Meghan trailer. I started thinking about all the strange connections between perhaps her very good friend Chrissy Teigen and people like John Podesta and the whole Pizzagate thing. So I wanted to talk about it. And I also wanted to discuss how, with hindsight, you can really see how the vapid among us just are flitting away. And it's really something to behold. So stick around for that today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. So you're talking my name.
Okay, the With Love Meghan season 2, which is basically the outtakes of season 1, which nobody was clamoring for more of this nonsense. Meghan Markle, I mean, talk about a woman who has just completely imploded. And it really goes to show you that there's only so much that smoke and mirrors and platitudes. It's only so far those things will take you. It is well established that Meghan Markle is a garbage human. It is well established. She is a terrible human being, and that Prince Harry is dim, pot-smoking, loser with no discernible skill sets whatsoever. And so it's basically up to Meghan to continue to grift off his family name and try and eke out whatever bit of relevancy she has left. And so, Netflix, which gave them a reported $100 million, people are like, no way, they didn't get that much, but whatever. They gave them a lot of money when they were riding high on their own supply and, going around talking crap about the royal family and saying how everyone was racist. And you have to remember when the whole Meghan and Harry thing was going on, it was during the 2020s. It was during the COVID. It was during the Black Lives Matter. It was during all this nonsense that we all live through. The celebrities, taking responsibility for being white.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality.
White, like it was at the height of that insanity where everyone was afraid to speak and people were getting canceled and censored for speaking out against this nonsense, yours truly included. And, when you look at that in that time capsule of when they came up as to what's going on now, it's really interesting to see how far we've come. Now, there's a very interesting book I'm listening to, and this is not a new book. I'm not trying to break any news here, but I decided to finally listen to the whole thing, Tom Bower's Revenge. And if you're not familiar with these two grifters, I highly recommend this book because it really does break down just how malevolent Meghan Markle was from the very beginning, and just how much of she capitalized on societal breakdowns during this time. Talking about how, everyone was racist against her and everyone, women of color just have such a hard row to hoe, and they used a lot of buzzwords and they were very much out in your faces. They were the epitome of buzzword platitudes, which said absolutely nothing. And when you listen to the book or you read the book and you reflect on just how, again, nothing was coming out of their mouths. But it wasn't just these two grifters. It was like our entire culture writ large, talking about how everyone was pitted against, black and brown people, and we must, I guess, repent for our white supremacy lo these many decades. And now, a few years later, people are looking back on that with just such embarrassment and cringe. And it's like, you guys, talking about climate change and talking about racism, it's one ridiculous empty platitude after another. And so now that you see the collapse of brand Sussex or brand Meghan Markle, like right before our eyes, it's like a slow collapse of a heap of garbage. And, I have to say, it really couldn't happen to a more befitting subject as these two awful, awful human beings, Meghan Markle and Harry. Anyway, so Netflix, because they want to beat the dead horse that is brand Meghan Markle, because they know that people will hate watch this thing, have decided to release season 2 of With Love Meghan. I can't play the trailer. You get copyright strikes, but I'll post some screenshots as I'm speaking about this. It's essentially, it opens up with you playing the Rockin' Robin song, like this very upbeat kind of, bouncy thing. And Megan's, going around talking about joy and, there's just the little moments, and she's slicing bread, it's just ridiculous. But here's where it got interesting for me. I mean, she has a bunch of people on her show that no one knows who these people are. And they're just, social justice warriors, just like her. They're just, the most insufferable people on planet Earth. And at the end, we see that one Chrissy Teigen makes an appearance. Now, this got me thinking about Chrissy Teigen and about her past indiscretions, if you will. And Chrissy Teigen is a woman who, talk about a vapid, talentless black hole. That would be Chrissy Teigen. The face is like weirdly shaped like a frying pan. I'm not saying she's unattractive. I just say she's unusual looking. She's married to one John Legend. Now, John Legend is a singer. And up until a few years ago, people were like, oh, those, they're cool. They're great. They're, they're woke. Let's make sure that they are completely immersed into the culture and everything's great with them, until Chrissy Teigen started tweeting, or I should say some of her tweets started resurfacing. And the tweets that a lot of people are talking about are the ones where she basically told a girl named Courtney Stodden, who was 19 years old at the time and who was seen as, kind of a bimbo, married to a much, much older man who clearly was grooming her from a young age. It was weird and gross and whatever. But Chrissy Teigen, instead of having some sympathy for this girl, told her to basically, off herself. And there is lots of evidence that she bullied this woman, not only publicly on Twitter, but in her direct messages. Okay. Like, she's a horrible human. And then after that, people started looking at her tweets. And this is where it gets really, really dark and weird, to the point where I'm like, I know Meghan Markle is scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to friends, or when it comes to people who want to be associated with her, because, the stink of Meghan Markle being markled is a real thing. Like, you're welcome, Jamie Kern Lehman. Now that you put this heifer on your little podcast, like, people can't stand you either.
And I think so many people also have this question for you is, Meghan, how are you? And are you okay?
That's so kind. I am. I'm better than okay. How are you?
I know you always make it about me. Today, which by the way, I just have to say, you are the most generous friend. You show up for your friends. Today, I just get to talk about you. So I'm excited about. But how are you doing? There's so much going on.
I mean, believe me, if you've not seen that podcast, pour a drink and go find it, because it's like if Meghan Markle is an insufferable on a 10, Jamie Kern Lima turns it up to an 11. Like, it's wild. Like, if you did not think there was someone worse than Meghan Markle, Jamie Kern Lima was like, hold my beer. Anyway, that's not the point. Point is that because Meghan Markle is having to scrape the bottom of the barrel, she's having people like Chrissy Teigen on her show. Now, I'm going to read you, before I read you the tweets, okay? Let me explain the brouhaha that happened. So people, after this Courtney Stodden thing, started looking through Chrissy Teigen's tweets, and they started finding some really, really disturbing tweets, like that involve pedophilia, okay, that involve children. And I mean graphic, weird tweets that if you know anything about the code words of Pizzagate, where pizza means little girl and hot dog means little boy, and all the weird symbols that are involved in it, and the John Podesta connections, and the whole reason that we even know what Pizzagate is. It's not some invented thing that a bunch of, QAnon people just pulled out of their butts, okay? It was understood because of the emails that probably Seth Rich inadvertently let it be known to Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. Again, Seth Rich, who is more than likely the source of the WikiLeaks DNC hack, was giving these emails to Julian Assange because he was pissed off that Bernie Sanders was getting a raw deal in the Democrat primary. They were like throwing the race for Hillary Clinton. So he's like, this is wrong. Let me expose this. And little did he know what he was actually exposing. Because in the emails, of course, were very, very disturbing, inexplicable emails between John Podesta and others, including Hillary Clinton, including referencing Obama, including all kinds of people that are deep within the Democrat hierarchy that make absolutely no sense, talking about having $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs delivered to the Obama White House, or these 3 children that are going to be offered up as entertainment to you. Like, that's just a little bit of it. Like, it is, and let me tell you, you can't find this stuff. It is damn near impossible to find these emails now. I mean, I had a bookmark for a very, very long time where it had every single one of these emails, and I should have taken screenshots because that website is now gone. But the emails are legit. And John Podesta has never denied the emails are his. He just says, this is an insane conspiracy theory. This is crazy talk. No, and then, of course, the entire media got on board with framing, quote, Pizzagate as some sort of a insane conspiracy theory thought up by QAnon people. When, again, these things were actually in the emails that no one has an explanation for, okay? So, cue Chrissy Teigen. People started looking through her tweets. And I'm gonna read a few of these tweets to you. I'm not gonna read all of them. I'm going to put them as you'll be able to read them as we go along here. But they're very, very strange. And she doesn't seem to have an explanation for these because this is what the media did. Just like they covered for John Podesta. And just like they said, this is an insane conspiracy theory, which, I'm just going off of math here. I mean, math is hard. It's not my forte. But, conspiracy theorists, like 37, the rest of you, quote, normies, 0 at this point. Like, us conspiracy theorists have been right about damn near everything. And this is my point about looking back in time at books like Tom Bauer's Revenge, where you can see that time capsule of when they thought they owned everything. They thought they were on top of the world. They were feeling themselves. They were like, we've got this locked down. We've got this locked down, this new world order crap, this climate change nonsense, this all white people are racist, and we've got everything locked down. Like, Joe Biden's in the presidency and everything's great. And we have nothing to fear from Orange Man Bad. And it is wild to see what is happening now, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, here's some of the tweets that the media were trying to tell us are just a conspiracy theory. Again, Chrissy Teigen, when she got busted for these things, she decided to delete like 60,000 tweets. Some online reports say it's 28,000. Some people say, some other reports say it's 60,000. Regardless, let's just go lowball. 28,000 tweets you're deleting? Why are you deleting all those tweets? Why? If there's nothing to this, if you come out and you say, oh my God, this is so terrible. These insane trolls are like calling me and my husband pedophiles. And then you've got like reports and some would say authentic documentation of the Epstein flight logs, which allegedly show that she's on him, her husband's on him, and a whole hell of a lot of people are on him. I'm going to post that here, this alleged list that has gone on, that has been on the interwebs for a very, very long time. Maybe we'll come to find out one day it's real or not. I don't know, but it's weird. Anyway, so here's some of the tweets that she has no explanation for. I am going to jail over pizza. Now remember, pizza in pedophile language means little girl. I now know what parents go through when they are forced to tie their kids up in the basement. You have to do it, but it's icky. Am I right? Here's another. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just ... I want to put myself in jail. So this is her viewing of Toddlers and Tiaras, that little grooming pedophile show. Here's some more. Water slide that goes through a shark tank? F yeah, time to get my pedo on. What? What is this? Let's see. Here's some more. I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. Now, if you don't know who Anthony Weiner is, if you're watching this video, you do. But lots of people don't. Anthony Weiner was married to Huma Abedin. Who is Huma Abedin? Hillary's right-hand bitch. And allegedly, in the Anthony Weiner laptop, where he was busted for sexting an underage girl, allegedly, there is a lot of incriminating information about Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin. So disturbing that allegedly 5 New York City police officers off themselves. Just add that to the Clinton body count.
Send it to me. I would not advise you to have a look at it. She and her spokeswoman, they put a 5-year-old girl naked on a table, bind it, and then with a scalpel, they start to remove the face. Oh my God. And you hear this child screaming, and they take off the face, and Hillary Clinton puts it on her face and goes to the child. You see, the child is all flesh, and then the eyes pour out, and this child sees her own face on the face of Clinton. I will never forget that image, and I never the scream.
Yeah. Let me read some more here. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just ... I want to put myself in jail. It's actually so ridiculous that most of the plane just laughs hysterically when someone comes on with pizza. What? Well, let's put it this way. This woman, Chrissy Teigen, has an insane amount of tweets about pizza. And remember, pizza means little girls. And in her Twitter bio at the time, or maybe it was Instagram, I'm not sure, one social media platform she had, there was a little emoji of pizza. Who, y'all, let's see. There's so many. There's so many, you guys. Here's one. I just saw a baby that looked like a porn star, like a trashy do anything porn star. Is this wrong to think? What the actual F? I legit feel like I will die if I don't have pizza. Again, in isolation, this one would be like, oh, she likes pizza. She wants to eat some pizza. Y'all, but when you add it up with all the other weird pizza tweets, and when you understand that pizza is a code word for little girls in pedophile communities, there is something wrong here. There is something wrong. I'm bored. Really want to watch kids give birth. Where can I watch teens giving birth? MTV? I mean, that doesn't make sense, but I'll try. I mean, it goes on and on, you guys. It goes on and on and on. And here is my legitimate question. You can run to the media, Chrissy Teigen. You can run to Elle Magazine, and you can run to the Telegraph, and you can run to every other leftist media outlet, just like John Podesta did, and say that this is an insane conspiracy theory and you are hurting me and my family, and isn't this terrible? But you've yet to explain what in the actual F you mean by these tweets. Let me tell you something, Chrissy. Nobody normal would put out tweets like this. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of these tweets. And if you did nothing wrong, Chrissy, then why are you deleting all these tweets? Why are you deleting all the tweets? And then why'd you get off Twitter? Oh, I know, because of the trolls, right? Because of the trolls, the mean people. And why is it that you and your husband are, trying to lay low, except now you've popped your demonic head back up and have gone on Meghan Markle's show? Again, I'm not saying Meghan Markle is involved with child predator stuff. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying she is a grifter par excellence, and yet this heifer is scraping the bottom of the celebrity barrel because she has to drag out this lady with her questionable tweets. And the fact that she bullied a young girl to almost unalive herself a few years ago. Like, the internet is forever, Chrissy. And no amount of trying to rehab your public image or weirdly put pictures of you and your 3 children in the bathtub together, which she did a few months ago. None of this is going to make you relatable or likable or make any of us not think there's something deeply, deeply wrong here. And I think at the end of the day, bringing it back to looking at the culture in a time capsule and looking at things now 5 years later, none of this is going to age well for you guys. Okay. And, Meghan Markle, who is on her last leg of celebrity breath, like, all this heifer has left is to divorce Prince Harry and to write a tell-all book, which no one will believe a word that comes out of her mouth anyway. But, it'll be another good hate watch. But y'all, like, it just goes to show you, I talk about this a lot, that God will not be mocked. Okay. And evil can only survive for so long before good rears its head again and slaps it down. And I think whether or not we're seeing retribution or karma or natural consequences to horrible behavior remains to be seen. I hope that is the road that we're on. I hope that there are a lot of investigations going on behind the scenes where, you've got Ghislaine Maxwell talking, you've got people that are trying to break into the federal court system, cyber attack the federal court system to see who perhaps is being investigated. You've got, now we've got Ghislaine Maxwell in a Texas women's prison with, armed guards 24/7 because we don't want this woman Epstein. I think it's going to be quiet for a while, and then tick, tick, tock, boom. And that day cannot come soon enough for the likes of perhaps Chrissy Teigen and all those other people that are involved in horrific activities like John Podesta. So yeah, God will not be mocked forever. And your day is coming, because evil will always lose to good. All right, that's where I'm going to leave this video. Please let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you in the next one. Thy will be done. Bye.